Hello and welcome back to another video talking through some junky thinking. So this one is, I have sexual desire. Specifically, I have a desire to have sex. I have no partner. I have no viable options for a potential sexual partner. I cannot have sex, and yet I still want sex very much constantly. This is frustrating. This is a problem for me. It is a problem that I want to solve. It is a problem that I don't know that I can solve. It is a problem that I want to solve. If I am hungry, then I eat and solve that problem. If I have a sexual hunger and I can't have sex, then what do I do with my sexual energy? I know that I will not die if I don't have sex, but I will remain frustrated. Thoughts on this, Mary?
Well, you're going to remain frustrated, I guess, if you want sex constantly. That seems like an addiction in itself to me. I mean, especially if you're so compelled that it's causing you all this frustration. I mean, yeah, sexual desire and urges can come and go or whatever, and that you can't have sex. Yes, you can. They're called hookers. You know, you can have sex and you can have porn. There's no deprivation here, but I would say if you are in a situation where you're that obsessed with sex, I would deal with that before you try to even get in any kind of relationship. Because, I mean, who out there is going to want to be in a relationship with someone who's obsessed with sex? I wouldn't, I mean, it's like, yeah, reasonable sex at reasonable times. But if someone is that still in an addiction that they think about sex constantly, that was the word in there, right? Constantly.
Yeah, I think so.
It's in the thought, yeah. So, yeah, you're certainly not in any kind of position to be in a relationship. And why not do the work of really getting to a point where you do feel free of addiction? And then maybe you're going to have a relationship that can be fulfilling in every way, including sexually.
Yeah, to me, I think this one sounded very, very much like feelings of deprivation because
Yeah.
it did say in particular, I cannot have sex, and yeah, I
Yeah.
still want sex very much constantly. This is frustrating. This is a problem for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. You can have sex, that is the reality. And the thought that I can't have sex is what's causing many of the problems going on here
Yes,
because you
the
are going to feel
frustration.
deprived.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to feel very
And
frustrating and you're going to feel agitated and you're going to want this thing and you're going to feel like it's being withheld from you. But actually, it's not. It's just maybe a little bit more difficult right now because you're choosing to change your neural pathways and because you are an addiction. I mean, it's not difficult because you're changing your neural pathways. It's going to become easier and easier as you change your neural pathways and get free of this. The reason it's difficult is because your brain is addicted right now. That's the truth.
yeah, and also if you're feeling deprivation about sex, I feel like that speaks also to how you're feeling about the pornography, because it's like it's almost like it's stemming from that. Well, I can't have porn, and then I can't have sex. Now I can't have anything, and I can't have a relation. I can't, it's just I can't. And yeah, number one feeling of deprivation is frustration. That's where it starts, and then it just spirals into hopelessness and doubt and fear and all of it. Oh my God, I'm never gonna have sex again, and it's it's just the wrong focus. And I really feel like if people make a decision and make a conscious choice, and prioritize getting to a place where they do feel take it or leave it, you know what I mean? It's like that puts you in a very a very optimal place to get into a relationship where it's like where you're not driven by this compulsive behavior and so vulnerable to just substituting with a relationship and then dragging somebody else into your addiction as well. It's kind of, I mean, if people are worried about the effect that their addiction has on other people, take that into consideration. It can be on the cost list and on the benefit list that you don't have to harm other people in the process. Because I
Yeah.
know that a lot of our guys feel like they have really harmed people in relationships, you know. I like to think of one in particular that, you know, his partner felt very much like she wasn't attractive, and, you know, and that hurt him hurting her, you know, and when it had nothing to do with her level of attractiveness, it had to do with that he was comparing it to pornography and that experience, you know, and
Well, the thing
that's
I want to just say is that, you know, even if you were to go and get into a relationship now and you were having sex very often and you did get out of these temporary feelings of deprivation, if your partner then goes away for a week and you've not actually changed your addictive neural pathways, you're going to be straight back to porn because your focus has been
yeah,
on getting sex. It's not been on actually changing your brain. And I can absolutely assure you that your remember letter and all of the consequences of looking at porn pretty much are going to stay the same, whether you have a partner or you don't have a partner. Sure, there may be some things in that remember letter about not having a relationship, and okay, yeah, maybe that's a small part of the reason you want to change your addictive neural pathways. But I've lived it. I've lived having a girlfriend. I've lived not having a girlfriend, and I know very, very well that being free from porn addiction and being single is so much better than being in a relationship in a porn addiction. For me, there
yeah,
really wasn't much of a difference between being in a porn addiction with a girlfriend, being in a porn addiction without a girlfriend. I've lived both for years, and there's really not much of a difference because your mind and how you feel is pretty much the same because you're still just in this compulsive state, always wanting, always having this desire, and not able to just have that peace of mind, that clarity and openness to just enjoy life and be present. So I completely think all of that message is it's just junky thinking that's going on right now because of the addictive part of the mind. And I really think it's that simple in many ways.
yeah. And if you use a relationship as a substitute, you know, that's going to become compulsive, right? And most likely crash and burn. So then you're going to have like this relationship compulsion, but then it's going to complicate everything. You get back to the porn addiction, then you're right back where you started, you know, except for now you got the porn addiction and you got this sort of relationship compulsion too. Now you got both, you know, it's just, you know, again, making that decision that this is going to be the priority, getting free, and then seeing how life unfolds with relationships once you actually have that permanent mental freedom and peace of mind over this addiction. So yeah,
Yeah. And also like every time you have that urge, I would say just read the script and remember that look, it's not going to be this way forever. You will be able to change your addictive neural pathways, and you will undoubtedly get to a position where you are having sex with women more often and you are having probably a relationship. You know, I think if you get free from this porn addiction, that's setting you apart from most men in the fact that most men nowadays are stuck in one compulsion or another. If you go beyond compulsion and you start prioritizing good habits and other things because you do then have way more mental space and you want to prioritize changing the addictive neural pathways first before you get to that stage. But then you start getting into self-development more. You build yourself into someone who is going to be incredibly attractive to any partner. So there's so much potential, and just know that it's going to be worth it on the other side.
yeah. And speaking from, you know, the attraction part, coming from a woman's perspective too, it's like women definitely know if a man is attracted to you or just attracted to sex. And if it's just attracted to sex, women know that, and it's very unattractive to them. So if someone is just like obsessed with sex, and you know if you're just like some sort of tools for this guy's sexual satisfaction, or if he really is interested and loves you and wants to make love or whatever, you know, women definitely know the difference. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
So I've been a woman for a while.
Oh, I
No,
love
I'm
that.
not. I'm not transgender. No, I'm actually been a woman my whole life. Yes.
All right, let's wrap this one up there then. All right,
Yeah,
but yeah, thanks
let's
so much for
please.
sharing that junky thought. I'm sure it helped a lot of people, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.